Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a test that will have some similarities to tests we've done in the past. Autoflex. But today we're doing it with the iron, Michael.
Yes, we are comparing my irons.
Same head,
Yep.
different shaft. You use a Modus 120 stiff in yours, 115 grams. We're going to test it against the Autoflex. Obviously, a shaft you've grown to like in your own driver since we've done our testing versus the Brava recently.
Yep.
You've been enjoying the driver, played golf with you yesterday, very good.
Good, yeah, different flight.
Better good ones, better misses.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely improvement.
Took a while to time it and figure it out, but I think, you know, it needs a couple more weeks and it's good.
Definitely. So it's not something really I've actually heard a lot of people ask for or kind of even mention is the iron shaft. And to be honest, I've been kind of pondering it myself, is there value, where we see value in the iron shaft. I mean, obviously, if we think of what the value on offer is with the driver, it's lighter, it's a little softer, you can potentially create a little more energy in deflection, but you can certainly lighten up the club as a unit, gain some speed, and gain a bit of distance by going longer in the shaft, right? So there's pluses in there for certain people to get. Irons don't work that way. It's not like we can just all of a sudden go longer and lighter and then, you know, we become more efficient from a strokes gain perspective when it comes to irons. That's why we have a set.
Yeah.
That's why we have 4 or 5 to wedge or gap wedge, whatever your set composition is. So we're going to isolate the shaft in this test. We've got Mikey's Mura MC501.
Yep.
Exact same spec on both. And really, as I say, isolate the shaft as the variable and see exactly what it's doing in sort of motion and dynamic deflection.
Definitely, cool.
Good stuff. All right, let's get some baseline numbers with yours.
Okay.
You've been really happy with these irons for a while. They've been in the bag for nearly three years?
Four-ish years, yeah.
4-ish years?
Yeah.
That's a long time. You've had, you know, plenty of came and gone.
Yeah.
Tried to get in the bag, but these have stayed, you know, steady in the bag.
For that bladey look, and I'm sure something with a bit more help would be sometimes nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I played up into 5-iron, and if I'm gonna miss it thin with an iron, they're the same. Maybe a little bit less distance, but I'd rather, I don't know. I like these. I've always liked these.
Yeah,
so.
no, you hit them. You do hit them well. Okay, let's see a few. And for those who are curious on standard specs on Mike's clubs, the Lofton is 6-inch 30, lie angle 62. So Mike is a little bit of a handle raiser, as we talked a bit about in your driver speed video with Martin Chuck. We talked a little bit about how the strong grip kind of causes you to basically slightly raise the handle and try to keep the face nice and neutral. You know, we've got a little bit toe down there. 2.5 is not bad though.
Yeah, not bad.
You know, keeps it in a nice spot. Lovely strike there, just a hair closed with the face relative to the path, and it went a little bit left on us. But all in all, pretty good shot.
Okay.
See a few more. And that's your miss there.
Yeah, a little.
Right, little scrapey one. One of the reasons I think these irons do very, very well for you, and you know, we've got pre-worn leading edges, we've got V-soles that Strixon and a few other companies now are starting to use, but this is different. This is a full-length toe-to-heel pre-wear, rather than that sort of, you know, curvature that we normally see. This is a little blend of pre-wear and V-sole for me.
Definitely.
And I think that's what does well for you with these irons, because if you do get a little early into the turf, you're not getting that leading edge. The leading edge is raised, and that's what buys you a fraction of time to keep that strike pretty good.
For sure.
There's a little tug in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
A little tug with the iron in there right now. Couple more. Yeah, you've got this kind of long left miss, which is giving you a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
So currently you're a 3 handicap golfer. How would you rate your iron game in amongst your handicap relative to other parts?
I feel like I strike my irons better than my woods for sure. Like I would say, you know, wedge play is number 1, putting would be 2, irons 3, off the tee 4 for me. I know I hit it fairly straight, but right now it feels like it's number 4. club, like golf course management and stuff, I just feel like that's probably putting me in the most trouble right now. I'm not hitting enough greens, but yeah, I would say iron play is kind of right up there for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. We're seeing that a little bit.
Yeah.
So, get a good feel for your numbers and kind of what they're doing. Let's take a little peek. And we're kind of not here yet to critique your iron numbers. I think we might get to that today. But really what we're here to do is to do a little comparison. I'm more interested probably in this page, to be honest. What happens dynamically to the loft, dynamic lie angle, path, attack angle.
Yeah.
When we introduce different variables such as a more flexible shaft, this is the same head weight on both irons, right? So we're looking at about 262 grams of mass on the end of both of these 6 irons. So one shaft at 115 grams that's significantly stiffer will resist the forces and torques on the shaft more than the other. This will allow the head to move a little bit more, probably a little bit that way in droop, probably a little bit more in lead deflection, probably a little bit more in twist. So we should start to see some differences in delivery. What's always fascinating with this, though, is how does the player react to that? Once the player starts to feel all of these forces going up through the shaft, into the hands, oh, that's a bit different. I've not felt that before. How does the player then react? That's the fascinating part of this test for me. Mikey, let's hit a few of these. Okay, so we've went from 115 gram shaft in your Nippon over to a 52 gram shaft in the Autoflex.
Quite a drop.
Yeah, so the interesting thing when you give someone a lighter shaft, guys, is the general feedback you get is, oh, this feels a little bit heavier. What feels heavier is the distribution of mass towards the head. So, you know, Mikey probably feels like he can really feel the head now.
Yeah.
On this one, because the total system has gotten lighter, but not on all, but it's still the same head weight. So you'll feel that a lot more in this.
Cool.
Okay, let's see what differences there are. Sounded very solid.
Yeah. Felt good.
Yeah, like that. Very nice.
Tell you, they're straighter for sure.
Yeah, there's more on it as well. There's definitely a little bit more carry coming.
Yeah, carries up.
Yeah, ball speed is on the climb. Launch and spin have both went up.
Yeah, it's nice to see spin around that closer to 5,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a couple more.
Draggy, we got away with it.
Yep. Yeah, nicely done.
I mean, obviously the weight difference is noticeable coming back to it the second time.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do that kind of little back and forth, because you're used to this, then we give you something else that deflects differently, is lighter, and then we give you it back, and you're like, holy, you know, this is totally different.
Yeah.
Solid strike, just that. We've got that little closed face today.
Yeah.
Pretty good though. Really good swing there.
Tried to cut it.
Yeah. Okay, back into Autoflex. Same feel with that little kind of almost cut swing.
One more.
There we go.
It was okay.
All right, Mikey. Quite a difference, obviously, testing both back and forward a couple of times.
Yeah.
What was the experience like swinging Autoflex relative to the driver shaft?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't hate it. It was it took a while to time up for sure. There's a couple that maybe got stuck in the turf, and I noticed like tack angle really went down. It got a bit steep, maybe stuck in the turf, but some good hits. The big difference, obviously, going from light to heavy, then back to light, kind of switching it around. Noticeable difference, but I don't not like it. You know what I mean? It's good, but it just, for me, that little bit extra weight, I don't know, timing-wise, just helps me.
Felt a little bit better. Let's look over at club data. So ball data was, to be honest, a bit of a wash. It was ball speed, very, very similar. Even in the sort of standard deviations, we really aren't seeing that much of a difference at all. You kind of had the same little pull miss.
Yeah.
I mean, we can attribute really the speed to the lighter weight.
Yeah.
When it comes to the dynamic triangle, that's an interesting one for me. I did not think that would deflect less downward than yours. Very interesting. But all the rest is very, very similar. So really dynamically, you've kind of managed both clubs the same way.
Yeah.
You know, we really haven't seen any dynamic difference. It's more of a weight difference, really. Going down to 50 odd grams, and versus obviously yours at 115, so more than double.
Yeah.
You've just picked up a little bit of speed with that.
Speed.
I would say, you lost a little bit of your strike with Autoflex. I mean, it was pretty good for a part, and then it kind of got really heely. So, maybe there's a little bit of sweet spot awareness, which is very important, obviously, in terms of getting the consistency on our ball flight. That's where our consistency in ball speed, launch, and spin come from, is making consistent, solid contact. Definitely, you're a little bit more inward with the strike on that, but yeah. I mean, it doesn't to me appear to be the difference that the driver feels.
No.
I couldn't really, I wasn't getting any sense that the shaft was super soft, just light. Yeah,
just light. Yeah, exactly. I was expecting maybe a bit more for it to perform like driver. I was, hit 6-iron 190, but I mean, it felt good. Felt good. Yeah. Nothing against it.
Yeah, the good ones were good, but the good ones just looked like when you pick up a game improvement club that has a lighter, softer shaft in it, and you kind of flight one up there and you go, oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
But then you hit a bunch and you go, I'm kind of struggling a little bit to piece it together and get it going in the right direction. So for players who need a shaft at that weight with a little bit of a softer flex, an option.
Totally.
An option. But obviously, expensive. 210, I believe, USD.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty expensive option in the iron range, as is the driver.
Yeah. I mean, we have it in the demo matrix to test, and I know we've had some customers that have had great success, some juniors as well.
Some juniors, yeah.
It definitely works. Just depends on the person.
It does. Okay, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably less of a wow factor test in the sense of, with the driver, you see the jump in ball speed, the launch goes up, spin it occasionally comes down. We can see some efficiency benefits at times when that strike location gets very, very centered. We have seen that in other driver tests, but as we always say, when it comes to irons, it's a different type of test. It's not really a test where we're trying to max out distance. We're looking for consistency. We're looking for repeatability. And really in this test, we saw very similar to what Mike had in his own iron. So is he someone who's likely to change to something like this? No. And I don't think we expect him to be anyway. But, something worth trying if you are in the 50 to 60, gram weight category when it comes to your irons. And maybe you've got a little feel for the woods and how they perform, something that might be worth trying for you. But in terms of the masses, probably still a niche product.
Totally.
Definitely. Okay, stay tuned for more testing on the Autoflex shafts. I think we still have some hybrid shafts to do. I know we've done fairway woods, but we definitely still want to do the hybrid shaft at one point. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you again soon.